So, Big Mom basically transforms into Ghost Rider in this episode of One Piece. Prepare to set sail for frenetic fun, my friends. It's time to take a look at another episode of One Piece where we finally get to see Big Mom go through a crazy scary transformation and go on a rampage. Definitely the best part about this episode is seeing Big Mom absolutely lose her shit and utilize one of her secret techniques to transform into a much thinner version of herself, as well as utilizing her hat Napoleon, who apparently has the ability to transform into a giant talking sword. Not only that, but Prometheus and Zeus are able to amplify her power, allowing her to, of course, continue to fly on Zeus, but it's Prometheus who literally combines with Big Mom's hair, transforming it into a giant fiery hellscape. That's right, my friends, Big Mom is flying around on clouds with a talking sword and is on fire. That's pretty fucking awesome. I absolutely loved the imagery of this scene in the manga. The anime version sold it 100%. The animation during this scene and the expressions from Big Mom were absolutely horrifying. I'm not sure how she's able to survive having a giant head of fire. All I know is nothing seems to stop this crazy bitch, and she just lands on top of the Thousand Sunny and starts ripping it apart like freaking Godzilla. It is just a horrifying scene, and it's just the very last part of this episode. It's easily the most memorable thing, and that's because most of the episode is doing what One Piece typically does, which is going around and watching characters just sort of make expressions and say the obvious. That doesn't mean that it was a bad episode by any stretch of the means, but it's an episode that was completely sold by one major scene, and the rest of it was basically all build up to that. But let's talk about some of these individual elements. So, Luffy versus Katakuri. It's still happening, and Luffy is still getting his ass handed to him. Little by little, Katakuri is continuing to use more of his super donuts and more of them at once, which continuously just beat the ever-living shit out of Luffy. It's not until the very end of the episode where he seems to start gaining a little more confidence, and it looks like he's about to unleash something really cool, but then we get that to be continued screen. Basically, they're just here to remind you, Luffy versus Katakuri is still happening. It still looks pretty cool, but it's basically just more of the same. We also get to see more of Carrot's Sulong rampage against Daifuku's fleet, and if you liked it in the last episode, it's basically more of the same here, which is to say I really loved it. Again, I'm very biased, I'm a huge fan of Carrot, but watching her flip from ship to ship and electrocuting everything and taking things out with amazing style and looking so sexy while she does it, man, how can I not like this? The thing is, using the Sulong form has one major drawback. It can actually drain your very life force, and Carrot decides that she's going to have to stop this, or she's straight up just going to pass out and maybe even possibly die. The way that she does this is that she ends up getting saved by Brook, who is able to fight against enemies with the power of music, and she decides to cover her eyes with her hat. As long as she closes her eyes and doesn't focus on the moon, she'll go back to the regular old super adorable Carrot. The problem is, she is absolutely exhausted, so she's going to be out of commission for a while, and that's bad news for them considering that Big Mom drops on their ship at the very end. We also have another great scene of the Beiji ship, which is making its way closer with the giant cake, and Beiji desperately wants to just put some poisons or explosives in this cake, which, you know what, I have to agree with them. If they're ever going to take out Big Mom, this is the chance to do it. But because Sanji is such a chivalrous and ridiculous knight, he decides that no, he cannot sully the taste of this cake. They are going to conquer Big Mom with the power of flavor. Which, yes, is cheesy and super ridiculous, and he actually convinces Beiji by shoving some cake into his mouth, which makes him have this, like, weird collapsing orgasm, which makes no sense, but in the world of One Piece, this is just a thing. I know that Sanji just wants to, you know, be an honorable chef and everything and doesn't want to harm his food, but man, they really should consider throwing some poison into this cake if they want to take out Big Mom, because, wow, this bitch is crazy. So what's the rundown on this episode of One Piece? This was a pretty solid experience right here. A little slow, I have to admit, throughout most of the episode, but again, it's saved by its very fun characters. I especially love this one small scene between Prometheus and Zeus when they're arguing with one another. Zeus seems to be the much stupider member of the group, with Prometheus seeming to take charge a lot more, and it's just funny watching these two, like, beings which are created from devil fruit powers having sentience and argue with one another. I don't know. But it's that scene where Big Mom transforms that's really the big highlight of the entire episode, if only for how incredibly horrifying it looks and how destructive it is. I love the fact that her hat can transform into a sword. Even the sword itself has like its very own like face with eyes and a giant mouth and everything with a huge tongue like spitting out of it. It's so freaking insane, but it absolutely works for how her devil fruit powers have been used so far in the series. Yet that with her fiery hair just makes her really damn terrifying. I can't stress how awesome that actual scene was. It was great to see more of Carrot in action. It's a shame that it was so short-lived, but it's still one of the most memorable moments of the entire arc. And of course, they're still building up Luffy versus Katakuri. The fact of the matter is, we're still not done yet. We still have a little bit longer to go in the Whole Cake Island arc, and there are going to be a few more surprises, so let's stay tuned for that. What I will say is this episode did a great job of, again, demonstrating why Big Mom is so destructive. She's been attacked with some of the biggest moves we've seen from the series, and yet she still continues ticking. This is also the most hungry that she's ever been, so it's safe to say that Big Mom's pretty fucking pissed off. So, yeah, I'm giving this episode a 4 out of 5. It's completely almost sold by that final scene of the episode, but it's so damn effective that I just had to talk about it. There it is. That's my thoughts on the episode. I'd love to hear yours. If any of you guys did watch the episode, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below, and what you hope to see from the rest of the One Piece anime series. Thank you guys for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay damn down, baby.